Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about endangered species. An endangered species is a type of organism that is threatened by extinction. Species become endangered for two main reasons. First is loss of habitat and second is loss of genetic variation. First discuss loss of habitat. A loss of habitat can happen naturally. For example, dinosaurs lost their habitat about 65 million years ago. The hot, dry climate of the Cretaceous period changed very quickly, most likely because of an asteroid striking the Earth. The impact of the asteroid forced debris into the atmosphere, reducing the amount of heat and light that reached Earth's surface. The dinosaurs were unable to adapt this new, cooler habitat. Dinosaurs became endangered, then extinct. Human activities can also contribute to a loss of habitat. Development of housing, industry, and agriculture reduces the habitat of native organisms. This can happen in a number of different ways. Development can eliminate habitat and native species directly. In Amazon rainforest of South Africa, developers have cleared hundreds of thousands of acres. To clear a piece of land is to remove all trees and vegetation from it. The Amazon rainforest is cleared for cattle ranchers, logging, and urban use. Development can also endanger species directly. Some species, such as fig trees of the rainforest, may provide habitat for other species. As trees are destroyed, species that depend on that tree habitat may also become endangered. Tree crowns provide habitat in the canopy or top layer of the rainforest. Plants such as vines, fungi such as mushrooms, and insects such as butterfly live in the rainforest canopy. So do hundreds of species of tropical birds and mammals such as monkeys. As trees are cut down, the habitat is lost. Loss of habitat may happen as development takes place. Many animals have a range of hundreds of squares of kilometers. The mountain lion of the North America, for instance, has a range up to 1,000 square kilometers. To successfully live and reproduce, a single mountain lion patrols this much territory. Urban areas such as Los Angeles, California, British Columbia, and Canada grew rapidly during the 20th century. As these areas expanded into the wilderness, the mountain lion's habitat becomes smaller. That means the habitat can support fewer mountain lions. Because enormous parts of the Sierra Nevada, Rocky, and Cascada mountain ranges remain undeveloped, however, mountain lions are not endangered. Loss of habitat can also lead to increased encounters between wild species and people. As development brings people deeper into the species range, they may have more exposure to wild species. Poisonous plants and fungi may grow closer to homes and schools. Wild animals are also spotted more frequently. These animals are simply patrolling their range, but interaction with people can be deadly. Polar bears, mountain lions, and alligators are all predators brought into close contact with people as they lose their habitat to homes, farms, and businesses. As people kill these wild animals through pesticides, accidents such as collisions with cars or hunting, native species may become endangered. Loss of genetic variation. Genetic variation is the diversity found within a species. That's why human beings may have blonde, red, brown, or black hair. Genetic variation allowed species to adapt to changes in the environment. Usually, the greater the population of species, the greater its genetic variation. Interbreeding is reproduction with close family members. Groups of species that have a tendency to interbreed usually have little genetic variations because no new genetic information is introduced in the group. Disease is much more common and much more deadly among interbreed groups. Interbred species do not have the genetic variation to develop resistance to the disease. For this reason, fewer offspring of interbred groups survive to maturity. Loss of genetic variation can occur naturally. Cheetahs are a threatened species native to Africa and Asia. These big cats have very little genetic variations. Biologists say that during the last ice age, cheetahs went through a long period of interbreeding. As a result, there are very few genetic differences between cheetahs. They cannot adapt to the changes in the environment as quickly as the other animals, and fewer cheetahs survive to maturity. Human activities can also lead to a loss of genetic variation. Overhunting and overfishing have reduced the populations of many animals. Reduced population means there are fewer breeding pairs. A breeding pair is made up of two mature members of the species that are not closely related and can produce healthy offspring. With fewer breeding pairs, genetic variation shrinks. Monoculture, the agriculture method of growing a single crop, can also reduce the genetic variation. Modern agribusinesses relies on monocultures. Almost all potatoes cultivated, sold and consumed for instance are from a single species, the russet Burbank. Potatoes native to the Andes mountain of South America have dozens of natural varieties. The genetic variation of the wild potatoes allow them to adapt to climate change and disease. For russet Burbanks, however, farmers must use fertilizers and pesticides to ensure healthy crops because the plant has almost no genetic variation. Plant breeds often go back to wild varieties to collect genes that will help cultivated plant resist pest and drought and adapt to climate change. However, climate change is also threatening wild varieties. That means domesticated plant may lose an important source of traits that help them overcome new threats. This is the part 1 of the video. In the next part, I'll be discussing with you all how the species are categorized in different categories, and the endangered species category is one of them. For more such videos, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.